सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Read verse 45. त्रैगुण्यविषया वेदाः निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थः निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान्। So Lord Krishna said, Vyavasayatmika buddhihi eka iha kurunandana, that when moksha is the goal of life, meaning when there is a proper understanding of life, then it becomes clear that moksha or unconditional freedom is my goal, that's what I am seeking. One recognizes that the desire behind all the desire is not only for freedom but unconditional freedom or unconditional happiness. This is what I am seeking in life. And that goal is moksha. When that is clear, then there is a conviction, and then the path is very clear. Then our Swami would say there is no choice. Choice is there as long as I am not clear about life, but once it is clear that what I am seeking is moksha, then there is only choice in doing whatever it is that leads to moksha. And here Lord Krishna teaches how attainment of moksha is a two-step process. First step, Lord Krishna calls karma yoga, life of activity, where activities are performed with the right values and attitudes. And second is the life of pursuit of knowledge. But for that, this conviction must be very clear. So in the verse that we just read, Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigurnyo Bhavarjuna. That the Vedas deal with three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. Nistraigurnyo Bhavarjuna. May you become one who wants to transcend these three gunas. It's a technical way of saying things. Three gunas means sattva, rajas and tamas. The whole universe is the creation of three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. And whatever we achieve in this world, in this life, here or hereafter, from the pleasures and achievements available on the earth, all the way up to heaven or in Brahmaloka, the world of Brahma, all of those accomplishments are going to be in the realm of the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. Meaning that all those accomplishments are going to be relative and limited. Nistraigurnyo bhavajana. Therefore, may you discover this conviction that I do not want to be confined to the realm of the three gunas, that I want to go beyond them. Even though sattva is something very desirable, where is sattva, there is purity, there is virtue, there is punya karma, and the result is happiness like svarga. But even that svarga also ultimately has a limitation of time and place, and therefore it is limited. That even svarga also I am not satisfied with. That I cannot be satisfied with even what svarga offers or heaven offers. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says it in a very nice way that there are two kinds of lokas or realms, anatmaloka and atmaloka. The realm of anatma, non-self, and the realm of atma, the self. Everything other than self naturally is non-self, and therefore all the realms of pleasure are all included in anatma or non-self. These three realms of pleasure we recognize. Bhuhu, bhuvaha, swaha. The pleasures available on the earth, the pleasures available in the intermediate world like Pitraloka, and the pleasures available in heavens. This is what ordinarily human being wants. As long as person has concluded that what I am seeking in my life is to be found outside of myself, so long naturally that person will strive for the accomplishment in this world or the other world. Now today this Swarga is no more in our radar. You might say, what is the point in this discussion? We don't think of Swarga or Karma or Brahmaloka also. It is true. Heaven is no more in our radar these days. That's because that's not part of our life. And basically, as one Swami said very well, you don't think of Swarga, isn't it? Because you don't believe in that. There is no Shraddha. In the Vedic times, people had Shraddha or the trust in what the Veda says, and Veda talks about all these different realms, 7 up and 7 down, and people believed in them and they were striving for that. With the kind of knowledge that we have, what do you mean, Swami? Is there a place called Swarga or heaven? Is there a place called Naraka? From there the question itself starts. So we generally dismiss those things in our mind. And we don't worry or we are not working for Swarga. But then we are working for Swarga in our own way that you may want to go to, now that you're in the United States, now where else can you go? You can go to moon or Mars or those kind of things we are planning. But certainly human being knows that he is not quite happy as he or she is. Therefore he is always thinking or imagining of something where all these limitations and pain and sorrow is not there. That's called Swarga. But even if such a place is there, that place is achieved, and what is achieved is always going to be ultimately lost. If I reach Swarga, then I have to come back. Shine punye martilokam vishanti. One has to come back to the mortal world when your punya, the virtue, gets exhausted. Nistraigunyo. Can we have a little more louder volume, please? Oh yeah, all these feedbacks are working. Sorry. I know he is the loudest that he can have anyway. This thing here, is the other way around? That's right. All right. I said somewhere we are making mistakes. Yeah, all right. Okay. How do I forget? Say this, how do you remember everything, Swami? This is what I forget first thing, which way it goes. All right. And he says it now, he doesn't say it from the beginning. So now it comes all the way here. It didn't come this way, I don't know why. Now I think you have enough volume, you can lower it. Nistraigunyo bhavarjuna. So may you discern and discover the conviction that what I am seeking in my life is not available in the realm of 3 gunas, meaning not available in the realm of creation, including Brahmaloka. Brahma bhuvana lokaha punavartena Arjuna. In the 8th chapter we say that all the realms up to Brahmaloka are subject to revolving, coming and going, being created and absorbed or dissolved. Maupetyadu punajanma dukkhalem. So Lord Krishna has attained me, then there is no more birth. So this is how Anatmaloka and Atmaloka, when I discover the limitations of Anatmaloka, including Brahmaloka, then there arises desire for Atmaloka, that what I am seeking is discovered for my own self. Then Vairagya arises. Kim praja karishyama yesham ayam atma ayam lokaha. This is what use do we have of this means and end, which are the means of Anatmaloka. We are seeking Atmaloka, for which knowledge is the means. So from karma then, the person understands the value of knowledge. Nistraigunyo bhavarjuna. When you discover this purpose in life. That what you are seeking is Atmaloka, what you are seeking is to be discovered from your own self. This is a unique thing that Vedanta teaches. Nowhere else do we ever hear this, that what you are seeking, even the Brahmaloka also, is to be found out from your own self. Then of course we know also the place of karma. Just because I am seeking knowledge does not mean that karma or the action has no role in my life. Even that attaining Atmaloka, the self, also is in these two steps of Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. But even when I am performing karma with the yoga, then also that knowledge, Atmaloka, the attainment of what is already attained, becomes a basis. So what is the conviction? What is the vyavasaya? Attainment of what is already attained. Meaning that attainment of the limitless happiness, which is already attained, which is already myself. Tad vijnanartham, then it's a matter of vijnana with the knowledge. So ultimately what I am seeking is to be attained by the knowledge of myself. This should become clear to me. That ignorance of self is the only thing that creates in me a sense of unattainment. That I feel that I have to achieve something, attain something. It is self-ignorance that creates in me this need that I have attained something. In fact, that should not be there. I am already limitless, and where is the question of my having to attain anything, but I feel how to attain something. To recognize that desire or need also arises from ignorance of self, and that the need to attain something itself will go when I realize the true nature of myself. So this is the basis of Karma Yoga also understand. Karma Yoga also is possible, meaning that performing karma without a self-centered motive, performing karma without a personal agenda, is easier said than done. It can only be done, or it is only possible if this is very clear to me that my life should become a process of achievement of what is already achieved. In which case, karma will no more be the means of achieving what is not achieved, but karma or the action also will become the means of achieving what is already achieved. You follow this? If karma or the action is performed for achieving what is not achieved, then it becomes the karma with a desire, because I want to achieve something. But if karma is to be performed for achieving what is already achieved, then I don't need anything out of karma. That karma should be a means of removing ignorance. So karma can be made a means of achievement of what I don't have, or karma can be made a means of removal of ignorance. Inasmuch as ignorance has these two aspects, the avaranam and vikshepa, the veiling and projection, and the raga dvesha that we experience are also nothing but manifestation of ignorance. So thus ignorance has to be removed in two stages. First stage is by removal of raga dvesha, the attachment aversion, and second stage is removal of veiling or the ignorance. So Karma Yoga also becomes a means of knowledge by removal of ignorance in the form of raga and dvesha. So we remove ignorance. And the time will come, then karma will have done its job, then I will go to the teacher and study the scriptures and gain the knowledge. That's how it was in those days. Now it doesn't have to be that. Now you can pursue both of them. You do karma also with the action of yoga. At the same time, when you get an opportunity, you study Vedanta also. So, Trigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunyo Bhavarjana. So, it's amazing how Adi Shankaracharya ji explains Nishkamo Bhava says. Lord Krishna is Nistraigunyo Bhava, may become free from the three gunas, which is explained by Shankaracharya ji as Nishkamo Bhava, may become free from kama or personal agenda. You become free from personal agenda. A personal need to achieve anything, to become something. To achieve something or become something, become free from that agenda. Only in that case your karma will no more be means of achieving something or becoming something. Then only it can become a means of offering something, giving something. Then only you can become a contributor, not otherwise. As long as I am doing something to fulfill my agenda, I am a consumer. Only when I do something without behind me there is no personal agenda, then only I can be a contributor. So Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. In that process, Lord Krishna is secondly Nitya. So Nirdvandva, Nitya Sattvastha, Niryogiksema, Atmavan Bhava. Nirdvandvo Bhava. So before you are able to transcend the three gunas, Nirdvandvo Bhava, may you become free from the effect of dvandva or pairs of opposites, that may you attain a state of mind where you are not affected by success or failure. Dvandva means success or failure. For Arjuna, that's the most important dvandva, success and failure. Victory and defeat, success and failure, honor and dishonor, gain and loss, comfort and discomfort. Nistrigunyam nirdvando bhava. May you become a person who is not affected by these pairs of opposites, meaning that they cannot create a reaction in you. The success would not create in you a sense of elation. Failure will not create in you a sense of depression. That's called nirdvandva. Not that you become insensitive and nothing happens to you with success and failure. No, you understand what success is, what failure is, and you still understand what you are, as to how success and failure do not affect you. That's what we do, achieve a karma yoga. Nidvandvo bhava. Nitya sattvastha. This dvandva, raga and dvesha, both of they fall in the category of rajas and tamas. So when you thus become free from dvandva, nitya sattvastha bhava, you become established in sattva guna. Although in the first line, Lord Krishna says, transcend all the three gunas. Second line, Lord Krishna says, first may you get established sattva guna. And then alone you can transcend the sattva guna also. So may you overcome rajo guna, tamo guna by sattva guna, by the right attitudes, and then by knowledge you will be able to even transcend the sattva guna. Nidvandva nitya sattvastha. But I am always worried about my life. There are always anxieties in my mind to attain what I don't have, and further anxiety of protecting what I have that always occupies my mind, O Lord. What can I do? Says niryoga kshemo bhava, become free from the anxieties of yoga and kshema. What is yoga? Attainment of what you do not have. What is kshema? Protection of what you have. These two concerns usually occupy our mind. My mind is either thinking of attaining or acquiring what it doesn't have because it needs something. And once having attained what I wanted, the next worry is how to protect what I have. That is most amazing, The thing doesn't stop by having something. That you've got a new car, it doesn't stop there. Then protecting the car also is equally important. If you are in Ahmedabad in particular, because you don't know which scooter fellow will what scratches, and you have to be extremely, They say in Delhi, if you are traveling on the roads, you won't find a single vehicle without some kind of a bump or something. People spend lakhs of rupees for buying such expensive vehicles, and this is what happens. It hurts. The scratch on a new car. Somebody asked Swami, how do I know whether I am making spiritual progress or not? So Swami replied, you have bought a new car, fancy car. Now in the evening you find that in the parking lot somebody has put a little dent in the car. And see how you feel, then you'll know how much you have progressed, spiritually. So yoga and kshema. Meaning whenever there is sense of ownership, there is always going to be concern to protect what I have. Lord Krishna says, become free from this concern about yoga and kshema, of acquiring what you don't have and protecting what you have. Then what? He says, leave it to me, Lord Krishna says. Which means what? No special attempt to acquire something. Be satisfied with what comes on its own, which may not be much. Agate swagatam kuryat gachantam nam nivarayet. If something comes, welcome it. If it goes, well, let it go. This attitude only who can afford? Only a sannyasi can afford this, if at all, If sannyasi also doesn't have an ashram and stuff like that, of course, then he also cannot afford. But this Lord Krishna teaches basically a state of mind, because acquiring and protecting naturally are part of the three gunas. And therefore, slowly, as you become sattvic, this will happen. As the mind becomes sattvic, the reason for acquiring something that I don't have is because I feel lack or want, that I don't have a given car, I feel wanting because of that. It is the lack or want within me which requires me to accomplish things, acquire things. Why do I need to acquire what I don't have? Because without that I am incomplete, I am unhappy, I am lacking, wanting. But the beauty about Sattva Guna is that as the mind becomes sattvic, you start discovering inner satisfaction, satisfaction with your own self. And therefore the dependence upon other things for one's happiness automatically is reduced. Therefore your mind will not see the need of acquiring things, because you will find yourself satisfied or content with what you have. No acquiring, there is no protecting. So nirdvandvaha, as you become free from dvandva or ragadveshas, mind becomes sattvic, and our concern about yoga and kshema automatically reduces. Atmavan, one who is alert. Atmavan. That's the explanation of this word Atmavan. It's not Literally it means one possessed of Atma. But no, here Atma means mind. Possessed of mind means one who has mind in his own control. Atmavan may become one who has mastery over the mind, who has mind under control, who is alert in the present. Atmavan become one who is in the present. So Karma Yoga will do all of this. So second line tells us what Karma Yoga does, which then becomes a ground for the knowledge by which we transcend the three gunas which are stated in the first line. So this is a very beautiful introduction to what has been said and what follows. Lord Krishna talked about the self-knowledge so far, which makes a person abiding in self, which transcends the three gunas. And for that now Lord Krishna is going to teach Karma Yoga, which is a preparation for the self-knowledge. So second line shows the preparation for the self-knowledge. Nitya sattvas nirdvandvaha. With karma yoga, with the attitude of yoga, we progressively become free from the effects of dvandva or pairs of opposites. Then we progressively become quiet or tranquil in the mind, abiding in sattva. Then concerns of yoga and kshema, acquiring and protecting, automatically they drop off. And you become one who gains a greater and greater control or mastery over the mind. This is the state of mind that is required for pursuing the knowledge, by which you become nistrigunya, you transcend the three gunas. So, again, what is meant by nistrigunya? What is meant by growing out of three gunas? Transcending word may be a little difficult. Grow out of this three gunas. What about a person who has grown out of that? So that person is described in the next verse. All these verses have been done by them. I'm just reviewing what has been done. And from that, no, I think this is the verse we are supposed to do. All right. Then I thought that we are reviewing it, but this verse we are supposed to do. Okay. Again, how do we have that attitude of Karma Yoga? Meaning, performing karma or duties without any personal agenda. Without making that karma a means of accomplishing yoga or kshema. Usually a desire can be classified as yoga or kshema, attainment of what I don't have or protecting what I have. So, if I perform a karma like that, then what do I get out of that? What is the reward of performing karma without any personal agenda? Then what will happen to my agenda? My agenda is to become limitless. What happens to the agenda? So, here Lord Krishna describes a state of a wise person in the verse number 46. Let's read verse 46 on page 24 of this handout. Yava nartha udapane sarvatas samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. It's a very interesting way of describing the state of the mind of the wise person. Yavan artha, how can you afford to perform an action without any personal agenda? You perform an action to get some pleasures of this world or the other world. And what do you get from knowledge? If all these actions are given up or you perform actions without any personal agenda or fulfilling your desire, then what do you get in the knowledge? So here Lord Krishna gives an interesting example. Yavan artha udapane. Look at the translation. Udapana means a small reservoir. Uda means water. Pana means to drink. Udapana means a small little well from which we drink water. So here Lord Krishna is describing a situation that commonly exists in India. That in summer most of the river beds are dry. Because rivers are only seasonal, there is no perennial source of water. The source of river water is only monsoon or rain. When the rainy season passes, then in course of time that water gets dried up and the bed is dry. Then what do people do to fulfill their needs for water? They dig some holes or some small wells, and the water table is there, water is just a few feet below, so they get water. Just imagine that in the dry riverbed, number of these little wells are made. It's called udapana. For drinking the water or for cleaning, for bathing. During whole summer, all these little wells are very useful because they serve your purpose. Sarvatah samplutodake udapane. Sarvatah samplutodake. When there is a flood everywhere, sarvatah, everywhere, sampluta udake, when water is filled everywhere, meaning that when now monsoon comes and river is flowing with the full at both the banks, when that situation has come, how much is now the use of all those little wells? So here Lord Krishna gives this example that the use that a person has for all those wells which they dug when there was summer, the use now that those wells serve when the monsoon has come, when the river is flooded on both the sides, then what is the use of those wells when there is no use? Why is it so? Because the flooded river does much more than what in combination all those little wells did. Meaning that if you add up the usefulness of all the wells, then also it is more than covered by the flooded river. What you get from river which is flooded on all sides is much more than what you could get from all those little wells combined. Similarly, Brahmanasya vijanatah. A Brahmana, the word Brahmana is used in the sense of Brahma janati iti Brahmana. Who is a Brahmana? One who has the knowledge of Brahman is called Brahmana. Here. The word Brahmana can be used for jati, meaning for the one born in the caste of Brahmana. But very often word Brahmana also is used for the knower of Brahman. So does Brihadaranyaka says, Atha Brahmana. A person who has done the Shravanam, who has listened to the scriptures at the feet of the teacher, has done the Mananam, has done the Nididhyasanam. Pandityam Nirvidya Balyena Tishtaset. Balyam cha Pandityam Nirvidya Atha Munihi. Maunam cha Amanam cha Nirvidya Atha Brahmana. So this is a word that Upanishad uses, that meaning that first of all may you listen to the scriptures from the teacher, and having thus understood, Maunena, so Balyena Tishtase, now you become like a Bala. So Balyena means like a child, or with the strength that is acquired from the knowledge gained from Shravanam. May you do the Manam and eliminate all the doubts and vagueness. Having done that, then Asa Munihi, now may you become Muni, a contemplative sage, may you do the Nididhyasanam. Having done that, even give up that also, Asa Brahmana. So Pandityam, Balyam, Maunam, Brahmana. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, then a wise person abiding in knowledge. So there the word Brahmana is used for Atha Brahmana. Now he becomes a Brahmana in the true sense. Early Brahmana also is another meaning. Brahma Bhavitam Ichchuhu Brahmana. One who wants to become Brahman also can be called Brahmana. So earlier also he was a Brahmana, and now also he becomes a Brahmana. As a seeker, he was a Brahmana who wanted to become Brahmana, attain Brahman. As a result of knowledge, he becomes Brahmana, one who has attained the knowledge. So Mumukshu also is called Brahmana because he wants to become Brahma by knowledge. The wise person also is called Brahmana because he has become Brahman. So in this word, Lord Krishna uses the word Brahmana in the sense of a person who abides in Brahman. Brahman means limitless. And abidance only can be in the self, and therefore one who abides in knowledge that I am Brahman, I am limitless. Brahmanasya Vijanatah. Vijanatah means what? For the one who knows the self. In the translation, Vijanatah, for the one who knows the self. You know, what we will do one day is to have a screen with a projector. We can project this verse with word meaning, translation, etc. That will make it very easy for everybody to, see, and for us also to explain. Vijanatah Brahmanasya. For a Brahmana who is a knower of self, who abides in knowledge that I am Brahman, I am limitless, who has become limitless. Brahmaiva sanna Brahmapyeti, Upanishad says that one is already Brahman and attains Brahman, like the 10th man attaining 10th man. He's not attaining something that's different from me. As we said, attainment of already attained myself. And that is where knowledge comes. Karma becomes a means of attaining what is not attained, and knowledge is a means of attaining what is already attained, but thought to be not attained. A 10th man is already attained, but because of ignorance he thinks it is not attained. Similarly here, in our case, limitlessness is very much of our nature, but because of ignorance we think that it is different from us. And therefore, knowledge enables us to recognize what is our true nature. So as a result of knowledge, one is now abides in the fact that I am limitless. Limitlessness means happiness, by the way. That Anantam and Ananda are not different. Upanishad clearly says, Yo Vibhuma Tat Sukham. Happiness can only be in that which is limitless. Nalpe Sukhamasti, there cannot be happiness in anything that is limited. It's a very important definition or insight Upanishad gives. Yo Vibhuma Tat Sukham. What is Sukham? What is happiness? Bhuma means abundant, meaning infinite. What is infinite alone is happiness. Nalpe Sukhamasti, there cannot be happiness in anything that is limited. Swamiji, we keep on experiencing happiness in every small thing. I enjoy when I watch a movie, I enjoy when I eat my favorite food, I enjoy when I listen to so I seem to enjoy a lot of limited things. How do you say there is no happiness in limited things? After the world has all limited things and then we enjoy those things, and so how do you say there is no happiness in the limited? By going by the definition of Upanishad, we have to understand that even when we are enjoying music or something, apparently happiness only can be limitless. Means at that time we are enjoying limitless. We are enjoying the self. We think that we are enjoying music, but then that music facilitates, brings my mind back to myself and becomes instrument in enabling me to enjoy myself. Whenever I am enjoying anything, I am always enjoying myself. But then Swamiji, every time enjoyment is not the same. Sometimes I am very happy, sometimes less happy. If I am enjoying the self, then I should equally enjoy maximum happiness. Is not so, but no. That happiness has to manifest through the mind. And depending upon the purity of mind, the intensity of enjoyment depends upon the purity of my mind. More sattvic the mind becomes, more the intensity of happiness. So it depends upon that object and my karma basically. Even object also is an instrument. I become happy only when my past punya karma or virtuous deed has become manifest. That's when I become happy. So whenever punya karma fructifies, that is when I gain experience of happiness. And at that time, some object such as music becomes instrument. So even that music also I do not enjoy, I enjoy my own karma. The fructification of my past virtuous deed is what I enjoy. For that an external object becomes a means. Because that music produces happiness and every time we listen to music I should feel happy. Is it not so? That's not always the case. You listen to a song once, twice, 3 times, 5 times and then enough of it. So for 3 months you need not now listen to that song. Somebody there in the olden days used to tell me, he says, I every 15 days I go and eat that sandwich. Then I don't eat it for 15 days. Enough. Everything that is always, that is because that doesn't have, inherently doesn't have the content of happiness. It is the mind which is this position of mind, that's happiness. And more sattvic the mind is, more is the happiness of the self reflected in that. Like a pool of water. Cleaner the pool of water becomes, more transparent it becomes, and you can experience what is at the bottom clearly. But depending upon the cleanliness of the water. Cleaner the water, more transparent it is, clearer the perception is what is at the bottom. And so clear the mind, clearer the perception or experience of happiness which is at the bottom, which is yourself. So we understand this mechanism of happiness. Then number one, it is a state of mind. Number two, it is when the mind becomes inward looking. Number three, when the mind gains a certain degree of sattvic or purity. Number four, that also is the result of my past virtuous deed. Number five, for which an external object becomes an occasion. Otherwise, all I need is the same movie, then I have a video. I can keep on watching it and become enjoying it. Not so. Diminishing return. Second time is less, and third time less, and fourth time even less. Thus, only one source of happiness, that is myself, and that is limitless. Meaning that whatever I experience happiness, I am experiencing myself, which is limitless. Except that the intensity of happiness depends upon the mind, which is the medium through which I experience that. And the clarity of the mind depends upon my karma. And therefore, there is a degree of intensity of happiness. But happiness I am experiencing is one, that is self, that is limitless happiness, that is Bhuma, that is Brahman. And when all the obstacles are gone for the wise person, all raga dveshas are gone, all ignorance is gone, there is nothing that inhibits now. All inhibiting factors are gone, happiness manifests in its total form, then the wise person abides in that happiness which is limitless. Nothing is to be done to be happy, understand? For a wise person, nothing needs to be done to be happy because that's the nature. For us also, the extent to which our mind becomes purer, to that extent we are happy for no reason at all. You feel happy with yourself. When the mind becomes sattvic, becomes, cheerful, Brahmanasya vijanatah. For a Brahmana, for a knower of Brahman, who knows Brahman is his own self and abides in that limitlessness which is happiness, what use is there for those little wells? But all those wells are the little happiness that is gained by performance of karma. So Vedas, the Karma Kanda section of Vedas, gives us the knowledge of the means and ends, but you do this and you get that, you do this and you get that. Our Swamiji will talk elaborately on this. The Vedas give us the knowledge of means and ends. Known means unknown end, known means unknown end, unknown means unknown end, unknown means known end, all this permutation combination. The end is known that you want wealth, but the means you do not know, then Veda tells you do this. So it gives unknown means for the known end. Or you perform a karma which you know, then you don't know what the end will be, then they will say you get Swarga. But anyway, so what the karma kanda is giving us the knowledge or information about means and end, karma and the karma phala. But every karma is limited, and therefore every karma phala also is going to be limited. The happiness which you attain as a result of performing an action is a limited happiness which can be compared to that small little well in a dry riverbed which gave you some water, had some usefulness. Similarly also, when you perform a virtuous deed, you do get some happiness, a limited happiness. But when the river is flooded, when the heart of the wise person is flooded, the river is hard. With ignorance is a dry river, then you perform a karma and you get a little bit of, happiness, create a little well and get a little bit of happiness. With the knowledge, when the heart is flooded now with happiness, what use is there for those little happiness that is gained by karma? Meaning that he no more needs to do anything to be happy. What is Bhagavad Nistraygunyo Bhavarjuna? Lord Krishna said, Arjuna, may you become Nistraygunya, may you transcend the three gunas. All karma is the realm of three gunas. All karma phala is the realm of three gunas. All happiness that you experience is all in the realm of three gunas, which is the result of some karma or the other, some punya or the other. Here, Arjuna, you have been seeking happiness and doing this for time beginningless, from one birth after the other. But this quest for happiness will come to an end only when you discover that you are the limitless happiness. Because you are seeking limitless happiness, which cannot come through karma. So, Nistraygunya means becoming wise. Who is called a Brahmana here, Brahma Janati Brahmana, one who is the knower of Brahman, abides in knowledge of Brahman, abides in limitlessness with his nature. For him, there is no use of karma, meaning no more anything has to be attained. Attainment of what is already attained, and therefore no more anything remains to be attained, no more anything remains to be done. Etad buddha buddhiman syat Krutakrutya bharata. Krutakrutya, Krutam Krutyam Vyena Saha, one who has done what needs to be done. So Arjuna, you'll become free from the need to do things. That's what we want. It is not freedom from karma. Karma itself is not a big burden to us. It is a need to do karma. I have to do something because otherwise I am not happy. And that is what the bondage is, and that is what makes karma stressful. Because then the outcome of karma becomes important to me because I have to be happier than what I am. If I am already happy and not seeking anything from karma, then outcome doesn't matter to me, then there is no stress at all in performing karma. Karma no more remains a burden, then it becomes an expression of your happiness. For a wise person, karma is the expression of his happiness or fullness. So what is said of Nistraygunya is described in this verse as the one whose heart is flooded with happiness. And this is, in Viveka Chudamani, in Panchadashi, the teachers describe this as the one who is plunged into the pool of happiness. We still surrounded by happiness. Antah Purna, Bhaishpurna, Purna Kumbha, Ivarnave, like a pot that is filled with water in an ocean. Antah Purna, Bhaishpurna. That pot is filled within as well as filled without. Purna Kumbha Ivarnave, just like a pot full of water in the ocean, so also a wise person is full within and without. Or Antashunya, Bhaishunya, Shunyikumbha, Ivambare. Like a pot that is empty within and without as in a space. So wise person's heart is empty as far as all desires are concerned. No emptiness within, no desires within, no desires without. This is our nature. This is not a privilege of somebody XYZ. This is our privilege. And Thank God that Atma is the same for you and for I and for anybody. So whatever, when a wise person is described, in fact, we are, you and I are described. This is our true nature. So keep that in the mind. That's a vyavasaya that is required, or the conviction that should come. That this is the goal of life, of abiding in the limitlessness which is my nature. And that requires me to know that I am limitless. It is true that that knowledge requires a mind which is inward looking, which is sattvic, which is free from the pairs of opposites, which is in the present. Yes, I require that mind, for which the means is karma, but not karma performed with a desire to attain something, karma performed as a means of offering something. So thus with these verses, now Lord Krishna has created the background of performing karma or the action without any personal, by desire means personal agenda. A karma may have a desire, which is not a binding desire. A personal agenda is a binding desire. So wise person also performs karma with a desire to accomplish something. Prayojanam, purpose is always there, but personal agenda is not there. That's what Lord Krishna wants to teach now. And as a background, these verses have been told here. Arjuna has told the ultimate end. If the ultimate goal is kept in mind, then the karma can only become a means of contribution, not otherwise. That every karma performed without self-centered desire is a step towards that limitlessness, towards becoming a Brahmana, towards a flooded heart flooded with happiness. And in monsoon, the river may get flooded all of a sudden. But here it is not all of a sudden, although that's a very romantic picture. The heart gets flooded. So what was it until then? It was empty or what? I got the experience, but what were you until then? If there was an experience when it became limitless, and is it that limited just became limitless all of a sudden? That also is a process, meaning that is not that one day your heart will get flooded. Every action that you perform with the attitude of yoga, you get a little bit of happiness. You keep on getting, which culminates into the full-fledged happiness. So it is not that karma yoga will produce result in some infinite time. When karma yoga also produces result right away. That is why earlier Lord Krishna said, Sarvamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even a little bit of this when I implement in my life, as we said last time, just one act of kindness. What is meant by a nishkama karma or karma without personal agenda is an action performed out of kindness. Right away produces a sense of satisfaction in me. So it is a process of discovering more and more satisfaction with our own self, which culminates into a total satisfaction with self, compared to the flooding of the river. Having said this, then, because within this verse and next verse there is no connection really. So karmanyavadhikarasya, what is the connection? Brahmanasya vijanatah. For a wise person, and this is then what about karma? Where karma comes in? Only when it becomes very clear what's the role of karma yoga in this whole process, then only the next verse will be meaningful to us. We'll continue that in the next session. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunya Bhavajuna Nirdvandvo Nityasattvasthaha Niryogakshema Atmavan Yavanartha udapane sarvatas sampluto nake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. So then Bhashyakara introduces the next verse. So in this verse it is said that for a wise person now, the karma has nothing to contribute. So Nistraigunya bhava, Nishkamo bhava, hey Arjuna, may become Nishkama, meaning that you perform actions not as a means of fulfilling your personal agenda. So Vashyaka asks this question. Swadharmam anutishtadaha sarveshu vedokteshu karmasu. That I have to live my life, perform my duties. And normally so far I was performing different duties and different rituals with the expectation of the reward that each ritual provides, and so there was an incentive. So incentive of a person for making an effort or performing karma usually comes from the reward that the karma gives. That when I perform a given action naturally involves an exertion, involves an effort, an exertion. I usually would not want to undergo an exertion unless it has a reward. And they are very natural that people perform actions for some personal reward. Reward means personal reward. What is personal reward? Sense gratification. Self gratification. In some way I should be gratified. In some way I should become happy. It may be gratification level of senses, gratification level of emotion, gratification level of intelligence, or at the level of ego. So seeking gratification is the general agenda that a person performs actions for. Here Lord Krishna said, Nistraigunya bhava, may you become free from the attachment to three gunas, meaning that Nishkamo bhava, may you become free from all kama or all desires, all expectations. Do not expect any happiness from karma. What is meant by becoming free from desire is, do not expect any happiness, personal happiness from karma. So then I have to continue to perform all the variety of karma that are enjoined upon me. Then what for should I do them? If the performance of the action is not the reward that the result gives me, not the personal reward that I get in terms of self-gratification. That is called nishkama. Nishkama means perform an action without the expectation of self-gratification. But I've always been performing karma for self-gratification, for deriving happiness or pleasure out of the result. The result or outcome has always been most important to me, and that is the motivating factor. People become motivated to do things on account of the promise that an action offers, that this is what I will get as a result of performing this action or making this effort. It is that reward that is what motivates me to undertake the exertion that a karma involves. So we don't like to exert. We don't like to take trouble. And if we imagine a Vedic karma in terms of performing those Vedic rituals, the fire rituals, that involves a lot of exertion, a lot of smoke is there, a lot of tears flowing through the eyes. And also performance those rituals required you that you must observe certain disciplines. So why should I put up with all that trouble? If Lord, you say that I should perform all that action, take all the trouble, and not expect any self-gratification, then what's the motivation? A person cannot do anything unless there is a motivation to do that. We find that our children don't want to study and they want to do certain things, but there is no motivation. That boy or girl doesn't find any meaning in doing that. What's the purpose of that? Even if I do, what is there to gain? Meaning that the outcome does not in any way turn me on, doesn't enthuse me. What's the point in doing something? So outcome has always been the focal point of doing. This is the usual orientation. And that's what the first part of the Veda even teaches. Do this and you will get this reward. So the orientation of a human being is always to do things that will be rewarding. And avoid things that don't produce any personal reward. So now Lord Krishna says that may you give up the desire for any personal reward. Meaning that the personal reward no more now remains as a factor to motivate me. Then what will motivate me to perform action? Kimartham tani anushthyante iti. What is the purpose for which now I perform the actions? Ishvara anushthyante. Answer is now you give gratification to Ishvara. So far you did what you did for gratifying yourself, which is one motivation. The second motivation can also be that you do what you do now to please Ishvara. So Lord, this is a very, very important thing about the self-management. That usually all schools of management teach you how to extract the most out of what your effort is, how to assert yourself, how to gratify your ego. That is the goal that all the world presents before you. Self-gratification is the purpose, the motivation for doing everything, and that's what enthuses the people. And then we become slaves in the hands of those who exploit us by giving us incentives, like carrot is placed before you. And the bullock keeps on moving towards that. So all human race is just, in fact, chasing those carrots. And the clever people keep on offering those carrots to them in terms of incentives and the rewards and extract things out of them. That's the pattern that we have. It's okay. Provided that carrot could give me some kind of lasting happiness, that people don't see, unfortunately. The outcome from a karma can perhaps give me some little bit of happiness, but not any lasting happiness. In fact, in the earlier class we saw that nothing can give me happiness, myself that gives me happiness. But suppose we even accept that things of the world do give me happiness, but then also there are all flickers of happiness that they give. Unfortunately, every experience of happiness that comes from objects leaves me more dissatisfied than before, meaning that always makes me desire more. It is said that satisfying a desire is like offering butter into the fire, and fire is not to be satiated by that, it becomes more demanding. So imagine this is how the world is living the life of fulfilling desires, because that's all the motivation that everybody knows. Nobody knows any other motivation than fulfilling desire, personal agenda, self-gratification. Not realizing that self can never be gratified. More you try to gratify, more needy it becomes. Meaning that we do acquire a lot of things externally, no doubt about that, in terms of wealth and fame and power, etc. But when it comes to self-satisfaction, there is no net gain. People, they have their balance sheet every year of how much I gain in terms of wealth, fame, power. But there's a balance sheet of how much self-satisfaction I gain. Am I more satisfied with myself than I was some time ago? If that becomes a criterion for judging our success, then I think we won't see that we are successful. Because all these things fail to give me self-satisfaction. Make me more and more dependent upon other things to get satisfaction. As the Swamiji was very fond of quoting, what is progress? Converting luxuries into necessities. What is for me luxury, then I get used to that, then I cannot do without that. It becomes a necessity, meaning that I become more dependent than before. So we seem to be progressing in the life of more dependence, more needs, more demands. What kind of success is that? But unfortunately, success is defined as money, wealth and power, and not as inner satisfaction, which is what the real criterion of success should be. Happiness is key to success. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is key to success. People take for granted that success means happiness, material success means happiness. That's not so. So unless that basic idea of what success is changes, until then this transformation doesn't happen. Nistraigunyo bhavarjuna. Arjuna, you lead a life wherein progressively you discover satisfaction of yourself. Wherein progressively you become free from dependence. The way you are living right now, meaning that performing all your actions for fulfilling the desires. And for achieving happiness from things outside of yourself makes you less and less satisfied with yourself and more needy, more dependent, more bound. Is it not so? If our life was simply for fulfilling our desires, then this is what we'll find, that formerly I needed 100 things to be comfortable. Now I need 150 things for the same level of comfort, mental comfort. But nobody wants to think like that. Nistraigunyo, they will dismiss you. What are you talking about? Give up desires? What is there in life then? There's no kick, there's nothing to turn on. So that something else can also be motivation in life. That the motivation should be shifted from the karma phala to karma. That's what the first step Lord Krishna teaches. If you can change that culture, where the motivation comes from karma rather than karma phala, the effort becomes the motivation rather than the outcome of the effort. But Swamiji, from the outcome there is a tangible happiness I get. What can karma give me? How can doing something give me happiness? Experiencing something can give me happiness. Enjoying something or experiencing something can give me happiness. How can doing something give me happiness? So that's what Gita has to teach. Happiness we want, that we cannot do without. And that need is respected. That human being needs to be happy. And life should become a process of happiness. That is accepted. Except change your focus or source of happiness. From karma phala, let karma become your source of happiness. Because happiness I need, and that is what motivates. We think that the reward motivates, no, happiness motivates me. And because I look upon the karma phala or result of action as a means of happiness, therefore that has become important to me. Why has outcome become so important to me? Because I look upon outcome as a source of happiness. So let happiness become your incentive, and the happiness is in yourself, not out there. Otherwise, a Brahmana or a wise person cannot be happy without doing anything. You find that person happy without doing anything. Not that he doesn't want to do, doesn't do anything, but he doesn't have to do something. That's all. Gita does not teach freedom from action, but freedom from the compulsion to act. Right now I am compelled to act by my own mind because it just doesn't allow me to sit quietly. And from pillar to post, it means I keep on chasing something or the other. So Lord Krishna shows us the means of directly tapping the self rather than coming roundabout. Here when I listen to music, ultimately I do get happiness from the self, but that's a roundabout way. Tap happiness from yourself directly. And karma can do that. Not karma, the right attitude towards karma. Action is an action. Action doesn't bind me, action doesn't free me, but what binds me or frees me is the attitude. So that's what Lord Krishna wants to teach in Karma Yoga. So our Swami very brilliantly said, Karma Yoga is the yoga of attitude. So you never learn these things anywhere, I tell you. This kind of insights, that come, Karma Yoga is the yoga of attitude, not yoga of karma. So, but Gita doesn't teach karma in particular. Except Bhashyakar or Adi Shankaracharya would take for granted karma means what is enjoined by the Vedas and all those rituals and stuff like that. So I guess for that time still karma meant only the religious actions that are prescribed by the scriptures. But for Bhagavad Gita, where karma is not confined merely to the scriptural injunctions, karma means any action that is your duty, anything that is right thing to do. What is karma? What is right to do. May not be convenient, but what is right to do. Then the spirit of yajna applies everywhere. So how yajna, or that becomes a very, that was restricted by the Mimamsakas only to a ritual. That was called yajna. And now a much wider meaning is given that it is not the karma, but that attitude is called yajna. So they defined a particular action as yajna, where you kindle fire in an altar, invoke the devatas, make offering of a material, dravya, devato deshena dravya tyaga yagaha. Meaning that offering of a dravya or a material to a devata is called yaga. So Lord Krishna says, devata, can be satiated, satisfied not only through that ritual, through attitude with which you do. And thus we will be told how devatas means nothing but the whole universe and how you make offerings to them. So if the question is, if I do not perform what is called desire prompted action, means an action prompted with the desire for self-gratification. If I do not have to perform action for self-gratification, for what purpose do I perform the action? Ishvaraya. For gratification of Ishvara. That's it, the new thing. Thus, a karma or action can be directed towards satisfying myself or ego. So we have two altars of worship now. Either ego is the altar of worship or Ishvara is the altar of worship. So far my altar of worship was ego, in one form or the other. So Lord Krishna says, shift that altar of worship from your ego to Ishvara. So the next verse tells us, verse 47. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते संगोऽस्त्वकर्मणि. Very favorite verse of our Swamiji, everybody I guess, but then, so the favoriteness comes from the way of looking at the verse or understanding the verse. So translation is your choice is in action only. So what adhikarmani eva adhikarahate, these are the words. Karmani eva adhikarahate. Te means yours. Adhikaraha can have different meanings. But adhikara has here the meaning chosen is freedom or choice. Karmani in karma. Te means you. Adhikara means choice. You have choice in karma. Your choice in performance of action. So let's say that's one meaning of the word adhikara. Ma phale, then if I have choice only in action, that means so in action alone, your karmani eva. Eva kara means only. You have a choice only in action. See, when you use the word only, that means it excludes something. You can only take this, meaning you cannot take something else. See, when you say only, we are restricting it. This much all you can have. Means you cannot have other things, you cannot have more. So Lord Krishna is only in karma you have the choice. That means something excluded. So Lord Krishna himself clarifies. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Choice can mean karma and karma phala. So Lord Krishna says, Ma phaleshu, you do not phala in the outcome or the result, you do not have a choice. Now, if interpretation like this, then this is no big deal. I mean, nothing new Lord Krishna is telling anywhere. That we have choice or freedom in performing or control, put it this way, we can control our effort. We cannot control the outcome, but that is to be known. Even though it's a very obvious thing that we do not have control over the outcome of a result, somehow in our mind we want to control it. When my happiness depends upon the outcome, that means that in some way or other I want to control that outcome. If my happiness depends upon the outcome, then happiness depends upon a favorable outcome because I can be happy only if the outcome is favorable. So when I am seeking happiness through performance of an action, when I am seeking happiness through performance of an action, it is obvious that I am seeking happiness for the outcome. Meaning that in a way I want to control the outcome. How? I want the outcome to be favorable. Because unfortunately that's all I am able to enjoy. I can enjoy the outcome or the result only when the result is favorable. Is it not so? I cannot enjoy unfavorable outcome. I can enjoy success, I can't enjoy failure. I can enjoy honor, I cannot enjoy dishonor. I can enjoy comfort, not discomfort. Since I am only able to enjoy certain things and not other things, therefore, there is when I perform an action, there is an expectation that my action should bring about a favorable outcome. Where favorableness is defined by me, by the way. When I perform an action, before that I decide what is favorable and what is not favorable. What is success and failure? Already I have decided, even while or before performing action, I already have in my mind this clarity or this concept of what is favorable and what is not favorable. Number one, I want only favorable, I do not want unfavorable. That's natural, Swamiji. Alright. Then I can decide what is favorable. This is called favorable, which I call success, unfavorable, that I call failure. So number one, I want happiness as a result of performing action. And happiness should come from the result of the action. So I perform action for happiness, meaning for producing result that will bring me happiness, provided the result is favorable. Meaning what I call favorable. You may have your own idea of favorableness, and I have my idea of favorableness, but then if the outcome is what I call favorable, then only I can be happy. So remember, understand that when I perform an action for happiness, I already decided what the outcome should be. Is it not so? Because I want to be happy as a result of performing action. I can be happy only when the outcome is favorable. And I already have a picture of what is favorable. So I want to create that favorable picture as a result of performing an action. Meaning I want to control outcome. Understand this. Whenever I perform an action with a personal agenda for a reward, in a way, I am attempting to control the outcome. That's all you can say, controlling the outcome. That's what I do not want other things. I want that only and nothing, not opposite of that. I want success, I do not want failure. Or honor, I do not want dishonor. I want fame, I do not want, famous for two reasons. So here Lord Krishna says, Ma phaleshu kadachana, that you cannot control the outcome or do not try to control the outcome. You cannot control the outcome. The laws of karma decide what the outcome is and you do not decide. Simple thing. So our Swami says, this is a simple statement of fact, of reality of life. That's all. So Lord Krishna only brings our attention, draws our attention to the reality of life. The reality is that as a human being, you have a choice in performing action. You don't have a choice in determining what the outcome is. That's the reality of life. And living life in keeping reality is called intelligent living. That's all. God give me serenity to accept gracefully what I cannot control, and give me courage to do what I can control. So karma requires courage to do what I can control, and karma requires the grace or the serenity to accept gracefully what I cannot control. So Lord Krishna tells us simply in this verse, So that serenity prayer is already included here. The prayer says, give me serenity to accept gracefully what I cannot control. What you cannot control? Lord Krishna is karma phala you cannot control. But then give me courage to change what I can, and karma is what you can change. So karma can become a means of change, and that may require courage. So both the aspects are important. So, karmanyavadhikarasya yodadhikara, the freedom or choice with reference to karma, determining what you want to do, how you want to do, when you want to do, if you want to do. So this is also a reality that as human beings, we are given a faculty of choice. If I want to do or not want to do. Kartum shakyam, akartum shakyam, anyatha va kartum shakyam. Kartum shakyam, I want to do. Akartum shakyam, I don't want to do. Anyatha va kartum shakyam, I will do as I please. That's also a problem. That is when we take the convenient path. If you have a choice of also deciding how we do, there was the choice between what is right and what is convenient. So karmanyavadhikaraste. If you focus attention on that part, then as a human being, you have been gifted with the freedom of choice, with the free will or freedom of choice, and therefore adhikara. So make the right choices. So adhikara also can be interpreted responsibility further, that your responsibility is to do what is right. Karmanyavadhikaraste, here Arjuna, it is a responsibility to do what is right. Why is it being told? Because Arjuna declared, Nayotse, O Lord, I will not fight the battle. Karmanyavad, it's your responsibility to do something. That a situation calls for, meaning that you have to offer an appropriate response to a given situation. No choice. As a human being, we have to respond to a situation. As long as we are in a situation. Who is a sannyasi? No situation. If Arjuna takes sannyasa, then there is no situation, meaning that there is no war, no battle, nothing. Then he goes to a place where nothing is, there is no expectation from him. So sannyasa means when there is no expectation from me. The world does not expect anything from me. That will be nice, isn't it? The world will not expect anything from me if I do not expect anything from the world, by the way. As long as I expect something from the world, it will expect something from me. So if I want a situation when world should not expect anything from me, then I should attain a state of mind when I do not expect anything from the world. Then only sannyasa is in true sense. If sannyasa means you are free from all expectations or obligations. And what is an obligation? Obligation, what others expect out of me is my obligation. If I want to become free from the obligation, then nobody should expect anything out of me. That is possible only when I do not expect anything from others. Yes, I don't expect anything, but that you have to grow to a point, because you don't have a choice in not expecting. As long as you feel lacking and wanting within, you will expect. You may not express your expectations, you may not express your desire, but the mind will have expectation because it is feeling lacking and wanting inside. So it is needy. As long as the need inside, you do expect. Whether you express it or not, expectation is there. In India, we may not express it. But there is an expectation that they should understand what I need. So sometimes people do not express their need for the whole life and it's never fulfilled. Like as I told you earlier, once I was invited for dinner in Ahmedabad and we were sitting on the dining table, and then the lady of the house was serving us. And I said, "See, let husband also sit here and let him also eat." And so she also, and she was serving everybody. She served me the sweet, some shikhand, and did not serve him. So serve him also. So he doesn't like it. That fellow says, "I like it." For 25 years, she did not know that he liked it, So he always expected in his own mind that she should give him this, but never expressed it. That's how India is, So 25 years also, you just don't know what's happening. But unexpressed expectations are there. That's where the hurt comes. Swami, they all came and did not even have a word of appreciation for me. Because they didn't know that you wanted it. But the unspoken need of self-gratification remains as long as I feel lacking, wanting, needy in my mind. I have no choice but to expect, because my mind expects whether I like it or not. And if that is so, better do something about it. Then don't just sit, and hope that the world will fulfill your expectation. No. Then you do something. So the world knows what you want. So it will give you. So when will there be a situation when I can renounce? Arjuna says, "I do not want to perform this duty." You say that all right, but have you become qualified to say that? You do not want to perform this duty, meaning that you do not want to fulfill obligation to the world. But when can that be? When you don't have expectation from the world also. Isn't it? When you say, "I won't do this," that means I will not fulfill my obligation. And you want the favor, all right. As long as you are part of a system, you live in a family, you live in a system. Organization system, Gurukulam is a system, a family is a system. Anywhere, but there is structure. As long as you are part of the system takes care of you, supports you, then you have automatically a duty or obligation to that system to return the favor. You can't say, "I won't do it." That is morally wrong. Legally it may not be wrong, I don't know. But Lord Krishna will say in the 3rd chapter, "Te dattan apradayebhyah yo bhunkte steneva saha." Because we cannot even live or survive unless we receive the favor from the rest of the universe. We breathe the air at least, isn't it? We need sun to see, we need air to breathe, we need water to quench our thirst, we need food to appease our hunger, we need earth to walk on, we need space to accommodate us. So what's the big deal? That's a big deal. That you are using all the resources from the nature. Becomes your responsibility to return the favor. That's a unique concept of Vedas. This duty is a very unique concept of Veda. The idea of duty comes from a sense of gratitude. And gratitude arises in me when I realize how I am a recipient of the favor. So that's how the Veda recognizes and shows us that there is no life in isolation, there is an interconnection, interdependence. The whole universe, in fact, is interconnected and interdependent. Now you are also dependent upon the rest of the universe as it is dependent upon you. So there can be one-sided flow that you keep on receiving the favor and receiving the favor. And now return the favor. We can get away here in the law of the land. We can be clever enough to escape. But in the moral law, we cannot get away. So Arjuna can assert, "I won't do, let me see what you are going to do." Nobody may do, but then morally you are wrong. Meaning that you are actually doing disfavor to you because you are losing an opportunity to gain happiness or grow. So Arjuna cannot declare, I won't do. He has no business to say that. Karmanyavadhikarastha. You have the adhikara, means it's your responsibility to do things that the situation calls for. You can't say, I won't do. And that applies to everybody. As long as you're in a system. You live in the home, means people will expect something from you. You're sitting there, the mother says, go and get yogurt. Go and do this. Go and get something. Moment is they find you sitting in the home, they will always assign you something. There's always an expectation. Mother, will you please cook this? All right, do this. There was always a bargain. You want to eat kachori, then you have to, what do you call it? The bins. You have to open the bins. You have to pound them. You have to keep things, So you have to participate. We were always brought up that way. Participation. These days, boys in the family don't do anything. Nothing. Even mother feeds the boy and everything is done by others. And that fellow thinks is a prince. Girls have to do things, at least in India. I don't know here, but poor girls were all expected to do a lot of things. And boys, we had a nice time. No, because in future they will support us. You know something? He's going to support us, not you. You're going to leave his home. I don't know what was the kind of calculation behind that, but somehow the boys were always favored. But the world doesn't allow that. That may be at home, and that's a wrong training, that's a wrong way of bringing, because the world is not going to do that to you. You have to participate. Oh, Swami says if Ishvara did not want you to participate, all he had given, just head would have been given to you. So everybody sees, looks at each other. Only organs of perception will be enough. All actions are given, hands are given, legs are given, speech is given, means you have to participate. The fact that organs of actions are given means that you have to act. So this statement of Arjuna from which Bhagavad Gita begins, Na yotsye, I will not fight. It took 18 chapters for Lord Krishna when Arjuna finally said, Karishye vachana, I will now do what you say. It took a long time. Why transformation? It's a transforming teaching, understand? Vedanta is teaching but transforming us. Karman, so you adhikara means your responsibility to perform the action, and action means duty, by the way, dharma. Here karma means dharma, not just any karma. Dharma means duty, means what is expected out of you. In every situation we perform different roles, and for every role there is a script. That's called dharma. And so do in every situation what is right to do, and not what is convenient. Karma here means dharma, means what is right to do. That means you don't have adhikara or freedom to do what is convenient to you. Don't take shortcuts. Don't compromise the quality of action. Because outcome you want, desirable outcome you want, you cannot compromise the quality of action. But then Lord Krishna means to say that when you do that, you realize that when you do the action, the right attitude, you realize that action itself being a means of satisfaction. So we have no work satisfaction, no job satisfaction. So people are seeking job. That means a job can give you satisfaction. Of course, it wants job to give me satisfaction. Lord Krishna says, you don't wait for some even job to give you satisfaction. You relate to job or work in such a manner that you derive satisfaction from what you do, regardless of what the job is. So karma yoga is not just job satisfaction. Job satisfaction comes when I do something that I like to do. When it motivates me, it enthuses me, it challenges me. What about all these assembly line work? Well, there's no challenge there at all. Same thing again and again and again. It is monotonous, boring, tedious work. Can that become karma yoga? It should become karma yoga. Provided you respect that work also. If you already have decided the only something that challenges me, that alone can be worth me and not anything else, then we already dismiss other things. Respect whatever comes to you as your share. Because everybody cannot get the same thing. It's Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. That's how the work allocation was done. It is not that we are branded, but we find ourselves in a Shudra position in this scheme of life. We want to do something tedious and menial. That is what life has given me. What am I going to do? Will I complain for the whole of my life? Then I'm fed up, Swamiji. Fed up with what I am required to do. I don't enjoy it. So you expect that thing to provide enjoyment to you. No. You have an attitude by which you can enjoy that. It's a matter of attitude. Respect what you have. Putting this in, watch how nicely it works. How it fits into that. Again, so satisfaction. I did one thing, 2, 3, 4. And then this will go into that, and that will go further assembly, and then a whole car will be produced. So why should I say that I am just doing menial? I am making motor cars. By fitting a nut into a bolt. Perhaps, you can look at the role that you play in an overall scheme of things, and you find that what you do also has its own worth and own importance. What motivates me is when I do something important. And that is not important, that is also important. In the story of Puja Swamiji, in that big engine, a steam engine, for example, like a low-powered steam engine, there is that piston that and pulls the whole train, and is very proud of what I'm doing. Without me, this thing cannot work. And there is a little nut, it doesn't do anything, sits there tight, and this piston keeps on him all the time, taunting him, you fellow don't do anything. See what I'm doing, constantly active. You just sit there. Poor nut thought, he really felt very bad, very inferior, useless. I'm not doing anything. Not moving. So it started moving. And it came off, the whole piston came off. So everything has its place and role in scheme of things, whatever it is. Why do I have to judge myself as an inferior, as a good for nothing, or as not contributing anything? I look at the scheme of the thing that I also contribute to the whole assembly. So once the Shilpi was just visiting and supervising the site of building a temple, and he asked some workers, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just labor to fill my stomach, that's what I'm doing. Second, what are you doing? Breaking stone, you can see what I'm doing. Third, what are you doing? I'm building a temple. So it depends upon how you look at your role. Meaning that every karma has its own dignity. There is nothing superior or inferior. That was the whole idea of the varnashrama dharma, or allotting different duties to different people according to their capacities and aptitudes and talent. As long as people felt happy with what they had to do, everything was fine, the system was working very well. But then there will be no competition. If I can enjoy what I am doing, then I don't compete. Competition is for the always outcome. Usually people don't compete for effort, they compete for outcome. But if effort or karma can give me satisfaction, then outcome doesn't remain very important. So by following dharma, that I am doing what is the right thing to do and I am happy with that, then I don't compete. It's a non-competing society, Swami says. That's also another very good insight into the varnashram system, is it was a non-competing society, where one did not compete with others. The competition becomes important when the reward becomes important, when karma phala becomes important. There is no competition where the karma or dharma or the duty is important. So I guess in the Vedic times, because Vedas always emphasize what you should do. So everybody, I think, was raised in a culture of doing something, of performing duty and deriving satisfaction out of what I do, enjoy what I do. What can you enjoy? Swami doing the same thing again and again and again. What can you enjoy? So you are looking enjoyment, you are seeking enjoyment from variety, but you are not seeking enjoyment from movement or from things that karma means some movement is there, you can watch that movement, enjoy that. Same movement, it's not same, it's movement. Cooking, every day cooking, Swamiji. Every day it's a new thing, is it not so? That's why every day the taste is different anyway. It is how I look at what I am required to do, and how basically it's all self-judgment. What makes me happy is a certain kind of judgment about myself, and what makes me unhappy also another kind of judgment. This menial thing, then I judge myself as a menial person. And this is an important thing, I judge myself as an important person. You can always judge yourself as an important person. It's up to you how you perceive yourself. I'm not talking about positive thinking, etc. I'm talking about the reality that everything has its own importance. Everything that is done in any scheme of things has its own. Otherwise, it would not be there. Is it not so? So, karmani, do whatever you do with dignity. So let there be your signature in everything that you do. That they know this must be done by this person. And thus, enjoy what you do, love what you do, and be proud of what you do. If you want to be proud of what you do, not proud of what you achieve. So that kind of pride is quite in order, a pride for what I do. When people don't have, then they don't pay attention to quality of work. When there is pride, they will pay attention to what they do in quality, that this is what I have done. So that kind of kartrutva we still accept in Karma Yoga. That kind of kartrutva where I derive satisfaction from what I do, or I am happy with what I do, even proud of what I am do, is quite all right. In course of time, we will want to become free from that also. First we have to do that, and then become free from that. So, adhikara, if interpreted as a duty, is something that is expected out of you, then Arjuna, you cannot say, I will not fight the battle. You have to. It is a duty. What is expected out of you. And because it is your contribution to the scheme of things, because you are the recipient, and therefore you are obliged to also make a contribution. So that's one meaning of adhikara. We'll continue this discussion in next class also. Because this is a central verse of Bhagavad Gita in a way, and then many other verses are explanation of this. So we'll continue discussion of this in next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to update your calendar with these few following events. The upcoming would be Memorial Weekend Family Camp with Swami Vidyatatmanandaji, and the topic is Sthitabhradnyastadochyate. Of course, it's full for the camp, but those who would like to come and spend a day and still attend all the classes, they are welcome to do. We're also trying to live stream these classes. So if you're not able to come here, the nominal price to cover our expenses, we will try to do that. So you will be in touch with us in some way. So that's again May 25th through May 28th. And June 1st through 4th, therapeutic yoga and mindfulness for chronic back pain. I will read one more time. Therapeutic yoga and mindfulness for chronic back pain with Julia Lorimer and Dr. Ashok Chabra. We had a very successful camp last year. We could be able to get about 15-20 people. This time also we have about a dozen of people who have registered. And if you are unnecessarily wasting your time, money and medication to address your back pain, I think it's worth trying. So please do register to this camp. And on June 1st through 3rd, Arsha Vidya Gurukulam and Venkateshwar Temple, Bridgewater Temple, cordially invite all of you a series of public discourses on relationship and freedom. Swamiji, Vidyatatmanji. So the schedule is there, Friday evening 5:45 to 7:30 p.m. Then Saturday, June 2nd, it will be 6 to 7:30 p.m. On Sunday, June 3rd, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Every day, Swamiji. So these are the three talks. And on June 7th through 17th, we have International Jyotish Kumbh Mela with Dr. David Frawley, Dr. Charak, Vinay Aditya and many more. So it's worth trying. They will tell you who will become president next. So many issues they discuss there, and I think so far they have come true, I believe. Maybe we can give it a try. So this is the 7th through 17th. Once again, Memorial Weekend, 25th to 28th, and June 1 to 4, therapeutic yoga and mindfulness for chronic back pain, and June 1 to 3rd, Swamiji's public talks in Bridgewater Temple, June 7th through 17th, International Jyotish Kumbh Mela. In addition to that, I request you to help us to have more ads, which our souvenir campaign is on, and temple will be open very soon with Swamiji will decide the date and we'll let you know very soon. And we have with us Swamini Parapradnyanandaji from Swamiji's ashram, Swamiji's disciple. And Swamiji has been going around and giving talks and satsang. If you're all anybody interested to invite her, either you can write to me or you can write to Prabodh, who is the organizer. And Swamini will come and give classes or satsang. Thanks once again.
We'll have satsang also after lunch. Om Rajadhirajaya Prasaya Sahine Namo Vayam Vaishravanaya Kurmahe Same Kaman Kama Kamaya Mahyam Kameshvaro Vaishravano Dadatu Kuberaya Vaishravanaya Maharajaya Namaha. Om na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agni tameva bhantamanubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Om har har namah parvati pataye har har mahadev. Om yo devanam prathamam purastad vishwadhiyo rudro maharshi hiranyagarbham pashyata jayamanagum sano devashubhaya smritya sanyunakto yasmat paranna paramasti kinchit yasmannaniyo najjayosti kaschite vrukshaiva stabdho divitishtatyekastenedam purnam purushena sarvam na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyagenaike amrutattvamanushuh parena nakannihitam guhayam vibhrajate yadyatayo vishanti Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitartha Sannyasa Yogat Yataya Shuddha Sattva Te Brahma Loke Tupara Antakale Paramritat Parimuchanti Sarve Dakhram Vipapam Parameshma Bhutan Yat Pundarikam Puramadhya Saggastham Tatrapi dakhram gaganam vishokas tasmin yadantas tadupasitavyam yo vedada usvarah prokto vedante cha pratisthitah prakriti linasya yah parassa maheshwarah. Om har har namah parvati pataye har har maha. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayah sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhaved asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutangamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.